Hey there, Howie here, and I'm going to run the weekly screener and just sort of go through the results, see how everything's going. It's Monday morning, the market's actually already open. I'm trying something a little bit different out this week, letting the market open for about half an hour just to see if there's any changes. Maybe we'll pick up a few stocks that sort of gapped up or down or did something cool on Monday morning. So this is just the usual that I use to get a few interesting stocks to look at. So you have the 5-day being down 1%, the 4-week and the 52-week being up. So 4-week at least 3, and then the 52-week at least 15. So an uptrending stock that is having a bit of a dip. And then the 90-day average, I put it a little higher than 50,000. I put it to 68. And then we're ended up with 45 stocks. So these are the stocks in question that we're going to look at. So I'm going to input all of these into the video, and then I'll look at them one by one. Okay, I've got all 45 of these potential stocks into my list, and I'm going to go through and just look for 3, 4, 5 of these that interest me and get rid of most of them. So we'll start with VPT. Switch this to say a month. We'll see how it's going. So the volume on this is reasonable. High days are in the half millions. It appears to be trending up, certainly. I had a couple down days, which is interesting. Lots of volume here, and it stayed at 48. Sitting at 47 right now. Swung a lot in the low 40s, so I think if this yeah, this has got potential to certainly move on the upwards. Okay, so you see this impressive gap, some sort of good news story, and that's sort of been flowing here. So I'm going to like this a few cents lower. It's down a penny for the day. So I would say I'm going to add an alert to it, 42. If you remember last week, most stocks, if I don't like them, I try and find a point that I would like them and then add an alert, and that way you can sort of you can not have to be looking at that stock every single day. You can sort of look at it and look at a point when, okay, maybe I want to look at it again. If it comes to 42, might be a better value there. RPM, 31 cents. Let's see what this guy is doing. So this is 6 months. Volume is decent on it on the daily, 31 cents. So it's trading reasonably well. Okay, so did have a bit of a drop off, about 4 cents on Friday. So could still move a few more cents in the down way. So you see earlier here, early in through February, excuse me, in through March, it was trading between 26 and 30. It ramped up pretty good into the mid-30s. Now it's sort of coming back and testing to see, and it looks like this might be the point of having some support in here at about 31 cents. So I kind of like this one. I'm going to definitely keep it at 30 cents, 31 cents. I think that might be interesting for sure. VTT, 21 cents. The 3-month, not a lot lot of movement. It's fairly flat for the last 3 months, and volume for a 20-cent stock is relatively low. Yeah, although it's, you know, this 20-cent point is interesting because it's been almost 3 months since it broke down below 20 cents. I'll put an alert at 18 cents. Just, I might want to have a look down there, but it's not something I'm interested in now. PWT 223 current. So it's a 3-month. Certainly been on an uptrend for about 3 weeks. And it looks like it might be petering off. We had a fairly significant downswing. That would have been Friday. That was a lot of stocks sold off on Friday, so it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Volume was ramping up for the up. Not very high on Friday. Sure. I mean, when you look at it far back and you look at the 1 year, you know, it's not had an aggressive gap up here, and then from that point I had some good up movement between last June and say October. This is a good upswing, but since this point it's really been sort of bouncing up and down fairly slowly. So I don't know, let's look at this, say $2. Definitely a lot of support in the $2 range, so we'll put that at say 205 as a alert. But nothing I'm interested in this moment. So this guy, GXE, well, this is the big 1 year. It's a huge volume yesterday or Friday. Giant purchase volume. Let's look at how that looked on the day. So this is actually interesting. I'm looking at level 2 on this one, and when I bring this in, it is an energy stock, which scares me because I'm not that excited. But level 2, you have, if you look at the 5 cents below current, you know, 37,000, 23,000, 13,000, 29,000, 56,000, compared to the up, which is 500, 4,000, 15,000, 6,000, and nothing. So looking at this, there's more support on the buy side than there is sort of people trying to get out at the higher point. So this definitely is interesting. Again, I'm not excited about energy stocks right now. They just scare me quite a bit. But yeah, there's already a bunch of people that want in at 90 cents, which is here. And it's come up quite a bit from this range of 86 to 88. Just don't know if there's enough support at 90 cents or not. I'm going to say 88 cents. Looks interesting. It is up 2 cents in the day, so that might have been one I wanted to do a quick 1 or 2 or 3 day look at. But alright, EDV is the next one. So let's look at a big picture on this guy. Feels uptrendy, fairly flat for a good period of time, but on the short, all of March, we'll say it's following a fairly good uptrend. It's a mining company. Not a tremendous amount of volume for the price. Let's break down the volume, look at it a little closer. So this is 1 month on the day. Volume about 200,000, 300,000, so not bad, but $25.19, eh? This is one I'm going to just sit on for a minute and take more time looking at it. Okay, TMG. Oops. Big gap up, or big movement October. Big Peter. Support 7 cents. Yeah, I'm not excited at where this is. I'd consider it at the 7 or the 8 cents. Volume, not that good for such a tiny stock, but 8 cents, I'd have some interest on this one. Perhaps. TGV, another penny stock, 6 cents. This is a 1 year. This doesn't look interesting, in my opinion. It's just not, it doesn't have very much movement at all. It's just moving half a cent in here for days and days, just, you know, up half a cent, down half a cent with very low volume. So I won't even set an alert on this because the volume is just, it's just too low, you know. Yeah, so we'll just not watch that one. AYA we're looking at now. So this is the 1 year. So it's bouncing around a little. Excuse me. Looks like in the 22s for the last several days it's had some support right at that 22 mark. It's up 1% already today. What is it by Alma Incorporated? 2242. Yeah, it's got potential to move up. I'm looking over here at the high points late March. It's got some potential to keep up. Would have been nice to get in back here, but I will add an alert for 2202 because that interests me. Alright, EGT 24. This is the 1 year. This is actually, you know, since the summer of last year, which is at 38. It's definitely on a downward trend, which I don't like to see. It's been trending down for sort of 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive days, and not a lot of movement. 24 cents, 400,000 shares moving a day. It's not that exciting. I will add at 22, it's got some support. 20 down here, 21, 22. Let's look at the 1 month. Yeah, 22 looks interesting. I think I might look at getting in at 22 and just stop lossing at 19 or 20. Because you look at this as 3 months, 21, 20 is as low as it's been in 3 months. Over 6 months, there was one good downswing in here that brought it to 20. But yeah, so I'm going to look at that at about 22 as an option. PNN 6-cent stock. I got enough little stocks. I think I want to avoid these low volume guys. You see here, like if it's trading just 20,000 shares at 6 cents, it's just really not going to have much going on. So I will just delete that one. ICG 83. So this is interesting. 78. It looks like there's a lot of support. This resistance here could potentially become support. See along here in September, this was the top. It kept hitting and coming down. Now we're looking at it potentially as the bottom. Volumes. Interesting. Just looking at level 2 here to see at 84 there's a lot of people looking to sell. So look here, you see 84, 191,000 shares. It's the biggest up till 95. So there's two ways to look at it. If it broke through 84, you might be looking at some upside, but also if you purchase now, it would be tough to break through that. So I will look at this one in the future at 70, I don't know, 79. Let's look at the 10-day. Let's look at the 1 month. Where do we have good support? Sort of where it is now. Maybe down here. 80 is interesting. So I'm just going to add an alert for 80. Alright, let's delete that bad boy. QEC, 71 cents. Up 2 cents in the day. It's ramped up in volume huge the last 6 or 7 days, but overall fairly low volume. I think this one only made my 90-day average because the last 5 or 6 days it's had more volume, but I don't think this one is moving enough. Uptrend down, big spike up, down, big spike flat. Yeah, I don't think there's a point. Maybe in, I don't know, maybe at like 60 cents it might have some interest, but even still, the volume's too low. I'm just gonna say bye-bye to that one. TH says Theratech, and the 1 year is fairly decent, like $1.98 all the way to $5.81. That's a pretty good upswing. So we might be looking at some resistance up here. Volume ramp to way up here consistently. It's fighting back from this, from the 570s. Gap down here. Seems to be a number of big upswings in this. And I look at a couple of days of huge volume. I I shouldn't say days because it's on minutes, but this one sort of interests me. This one sort of interests me. Thinking to get back into the $6 range. Looking back here, middle of March, I was at the 586, 585. We're looking at 581 right now, down 4 cents in the day. Gonna look at level 2 on this. It's very spacey. So if you look at here, you got a few shares at 583, then nothing to 586, and then a chunk at 588, a little bit at 589. So there's not a lot of people buying or selling. You look at the buying, 800 at 581, and then nothing to 578, 577, a little bit. But there isn't even a lot of purchasing volume all the way down to 568. So I might look at this in the 575 area. Where does that look here? 575. Yeah, there's not a lot of people interested in buying it. So I'm going to add an alert at 575 because I think it could get down there. That would be interesting. This is a 8-cent stock. And you know, it was 8 cents last June of 16. So just gonna leave this one alone. I mean, I could set an alert at 5 cents, let's say, but maybe by the time that this could potentially hit 5 cents, I will be more interested in more penny stocks, so it's worth an alert. DNA 136. This is Dell Radian Resources, and this guy over the ear. So we had early February all the way through to March, a pretty good downswing, and then March it's been ramping up. Looks like we might have caught some sort of resistance in the 145, 146 range, which happened back here almost exactly the same way. I think this one might have some more room to go down. And this would be the question mark at 130 if it held at 130. If not, it could get down here again. So this one concerns me. Volumes are ramping down for the last 3 days. This was big volume here. This is interesting. I'm just looking at level 2 here to see if there's any spots that have a lot of purchasing power. 130 is the most at 25,000. Some people that want in 135, 134. Yeah, I'm gonna put a alert at 130. Actually, 131. There's a lot of buying at 130, so if I were to get in there, it would be hard. All right, LIC. This is Lyco Energy, and this one is only 14 cents, and the volume is pretty small, and I'm going to run away. I think I'll add an alert at 9 cents just because that would be interesting if that ever happened. So again, some of these alerts I'm adding, they're not necessarily to instantly buy them, they're to sort of re-evaluate. This one, just nothing. Like if you look at here, whoops, do that. I don't know how this little clicky thing works, but it's basically between 20 cents and 22 cents for, you know, since November, so 5 or 6 months. There's just nothing going on with it. So, yeah. I'll just delete that one. LXE 236, $2.36. Uptrend, good looking stock. Looks like it's growing. I'm liking this overall trend. Look at the 10-day. The gap down here a little while ago. Volume really fallen off. That's not exciting. Not that exciting. Like, let's look at the daily volume. But a couple huge days. But overall, just a volume of 90,000, 80,000. It's not that great. But I think I can look at a point I might be interested in looking at it, which would probably be 230. There's still some downside at 230. 230. Yeah, 230 might be interesting. 230. Okay. Delete that boy. TA 767 Transatlantic Corporation. This guy's got a lot of volume. Let's look at the year. Wow, that's interesting. So the thing I like, even though there's this huge downswing to $5 and a big gap and a lot of volume, is if you look at sort of a year ago and where we are now, it is on an uptrend. So it's moved up $1.60, although there's been tremendous volatility inside of that up move. But what I don't really like is this is like the last 4 months. And so you look at 4 months, 730, where we're at 760. So it is an uptrend, but it's fairly inconsistent. Well, it's had 3 up days recently. There's a 5-day. We'll put that at 30 minutes so you can see better. We'll look at it at 750. All right, CBD 122. Start of the year and work our way. So right in here, for the new year, the volume's been ramped up versus last year for sure. Had a good gap in late January. Was up to 150 and has trended down to 120. Is there a reason that it wouldn't continue down? That's the question. I don't see one looking initially. I'm not liking this very small volume the last 3 days. 110, there's a lot of people interested in buying it. It's the lowest, close to the lowest it's been in a month. And this is the 3 month, and since that gap, I think one in here, 112 to 115, looks like it's got a reasonable amount of support here in March. So 122 is a little high, but 112 I think even 116, I'll have a look at it. Let's look at that at 116. Alright, Jag. 64 cents a share. Volume is like 100,000 a day. So over the 1 year, pretty big upswing in last summer, and it has not done much since then. And a lot of sort of sideways action over the last couple of weeks. Guess I can look at it at 60 cents. Looking at level 2, there's a lot of gaps in here. There's some interest at 60 cents, some interest at 62. Lots of selling interest at 69, 70, 68 even. People selling up there, so yeah, I think 60 cents is interesting, potentially. Alright, moving on. Cap, 6 cents, no volume. We'll get rid of that one quickly. AMI, that's Aurora, Aurico. That's a tough one to say. Metals. Okay, so this guy over the year. I like its support line here. You can see here, if you go through here, let's zoom in a little, you can see here and here, on both these occasions, there was a fair amount of support. Now here it broke through and came down quite a bit, but there's been 2 occasions where right at this 111, 110, 111, I had a good chunk of support. 110, 111, and on the level 2, you can see 110. Pretty big chunk of people interested in buying it at 110. 25,000 shares compared to this up 96 at 112, 15, 13. So, whoa. Doesn't let me move it. Okay, weird things are happening. So 110 has support. We're at 113, down a penny on the day. Volume is a little bit on the weak side. Sort of like this one at like 112 or 111. Look at the bid is only 111. Sort of like this one. I'm going to keep this on the look, and I'm going to dig into it a little deeper. So we have BIP.UN. This is a good looking stock. That's what you want to see for a trend. You can see it's falling off for this month a little bit from this nice high it's had. So it might just be people selling off for now. But let's dig into this closer. I don't know what's going on with that quote detail thing. I'm trying to fix it. It seems to be frozen for some reason. So this, let's look at it a little. Whoa, I think I'm frozen everywhere. Not sure if I can click on anything. I'm going to pause and come back. Alright, I think I fixed everything. It was just user error. So we're continuing on the BIPU, and this is interesting. It's very high volume, and it's such a slow movement. It's really hard to pick, for me anyway, some resistance, some support lines on this. This is the 1 month. You need to look at the 3 months, and it's just been very flat and slow up and not very volatile. So maybe if you could look in here at the 49.24, if it'll ever reach that. I mean, it's a fairly up and up stock, so it might be worthwhile in a longer term look, because it definitely does have a solid uptrend for the course of a full calendar year. Let's even look back further. I did have, in 2015, I had a pretty good downswing, but you can see since basically the beginning of 16, it has had just a solid uptrend. So this isn't something I'd necessarily swing trade or day trade, but it's certainly something for a long term that you might want to look at, so I'm just going to delete that. BUD doesn't look like, let's look at the 1 year. This is a much more volatile situation. Really close to, or was up to 25 a couple times, 3 times, down to this 16, 17 point. Volumes pretty low. This is the daily. And again, there's many days when the volume is virtually nothing. I'll visit it at 16 cents. Just have a peek at it, but there's pretty low volume on it, so I don't even know at any point if it is worth getting in, but I'll have a look. Let's try and get through these last ones. PGM 56. I know I've touched PGM before. So 1 year. Again, it's down from all of last summer, all of last spring. It's not an uptrending stock, but it's been fairly flat. There's a tremendous amount of support, looks like in the 50s, 53, 52, 53, 54. Excuse me. So this could be something interesting. So the daily volume, 150,000. A few days with not much action going on. A couple of down days. This is a gold company, Pure Gold Mining. This might be something to look at 54, 53. I'll go 53 to be safe. Not something I want to buy this second though. GRG. Ooh, this is a bunch of downtrends. So over the year, ramped up all the way through the middle of last year. August hit its peak, and it's been very flat since then. This is a most significant downtrend since this point. If you look at past downtrends, another big downtrend here. Following the downtrends, there have been a lot of positive. A little bit. This is interesting. This is called Goldn Arror Resources. Yeah, I kind of like this one. This is interesting. I'm going to look at it a little more. Level 2, if you look at this, you can see 50,000 shares at 69, 28,000, 12, 30, and then 5,500 for sale, 10,000, 16, and 500. So the buying pressure is definitely higher than the selling pressure, all the way up to 75, 76. So this would be something I'm definitely going to look at a little further. This is the gold one, so it's going to have more volatility. Next we have MMA. This is a big uptrend for the year. It was at 10 cents and it's quadded up. It's the mining company. They must have had some sort of good news about their mine. So let's look at this chunk. February and March. So we were at about 20 cents. We're now at 40 cents. We've doubled the stock in a month. And I'm looking at some petering off between 50-cent high. We're now at 40. Tremendous support at 30. Yeah, this could come down. I'm not seeing a reason that this needs to stay up at this 40-cent mark. So I am going to just look at it at 25 cents. I know that's crazy that it come down that much, but it's the only way I'd be interested in that one this time. MAT, just 7 cents. And very little movement, very little volume. Goodbye. HRH, again, 7 cents. Probably going to do the same thing. This is a 6 month, and you can see just volume is piddly. Very little movement. Even on this, you know, you look at this and you got 500,000 shares wanted to sell at 8 cents. And you got 500,000 shares wanting to buy at 6 cents. So you're really not going to get much movement in something like this unless there's some sort of event within that company, and we're not trading news, so that's not our thing. BWR 6 cents. Very likely not interested. So this is the entire since June of 16. It's basically been swinging between 4 and 7 cents. So, you know, same thing. Not interested in that one. IDM. This is the year. Traded at 10, 11 cents, early 16, ramped up to 24, 25. Bouncing around here. Good downswing here into the new year. Leveled off in January. And now we've been bumping up. So I like this leveling off in January. I think that there'll be definitely support in here. But that's, you know, the 13-cent mark. It's another mining company. So I will add an alert for 13 cents, but I'm not ecstatic about that. But it's worth a look. IKM, that's Ikuma Resources, 72 cents. Is this the year? Okay, so the year, 60-ish cents, ramping up. Big upswing up to over $1 at one point, and huge downswing back in late February, all the way down to 66, 67 cents. Trying to fight back slowly. From this is the downswing. Consolidation in here, trying to fight back, a little more consolidation. This is interesting. The main thing I don't like is, again, the volume. You know, this is a Canadian stock problem. You're just not trading many shares a day. However, I like this at 70. I think this has got room. If you look at a 3 month, if we get into 70, you're gonna have to have support in the mid 60s, I would imagine. So I'm gonna add an alert at 70. All right, DWS. Look at the 1 year uptrend. That's good. Obviously, it was very low, 10 to 15 cents, and then it has been going up. And then you can see it's very much flatty-ish for about a month, 2 months, 2.5 months. There's a big uptrend here, and then flat, a little bit up flat, so it could just be sort of moving slowly up. It's a diamond estate, DEW. A lot of purchasing. People want it in the 25, 26, 27 range. So I'm going to go to the 28 for my alert. Because if you go just above where there's a tremendous amount of support, then it sort of protects you in a way, potentially. EXX, not interested. Easy peasy. ME, it's got a pretty good downtrend over the year. Pretty significant downtrend here. Maybe some consolidation, but yeah, just not interested in that one. PBH, Premium Brand Holding Company. That is interesting. This would be more one you might be able to get in. Here's the 5-day on 30 minutes. It's down from 86 to 81. That's a pretty good swing. This one I could hold for 10 or 20 days and look to kind of get back into this $83 range. I could see that happening. Definitely hit some support in the 82, 81.50. You can keep my eye on that one. CEM. Wow, that gapped up quite a bit. It's just going straight up. Probably some news. If it goes down into 14, it's up 4 cents today, so it obviously finished at 13 on Friday and maybe had a news story or something that ramped it up pretty good. But if it comes down to 14, I like it. Easy peasy. Alright, let us remove that. BYN, 14 cents. Volume is picked up in the new year for sure. You can find a trend within this. It's hard to, yeah, it's, you just look at a month and the day. 12 to 14 basically. Let's look at 3 months, see if we can find a nice support level that's been going on for a long time. It seems uptrendish for the year, obviously, from 7 cents to 12, and maybe at 12. Maybe at 12 there would be interest. I'm bumping it back up to 14 at a 2 cent increase, which at 12 cents is significant. FPX. This is the 1 year. 10 cents. If the volume was better, I'd have interest in this actually, because you look at it, the 10 cent level, it's certainly been holding for the whole year. It was back late January when it was below 10 cents in the 9.5 and 9 cent and 8 cent January 13th. Yeah, so there is seemingly some support at 10 cents. It's another mining company. Gonna leave that on there. The volume is the main concern here, I think, more than anything. 40,000. Oh, you'd have to really buy it slowly if you wanted to get in at 10 cents, I think. But I'm gonna leave it there. CSM 22 cents. 1 year. This is another one that's doubled this year. Got in the 30 level, came down to 20. We're now at 22. Lots of volatility in here early March. Lots of volatility in mid-February. Big trading numbers here. I mean, big for this stock. I don't love the volume, and it's an energy stock, so I'll just delete it for now. ACO.X. This guy. Let's go 1 month and hour to see a little more detail. This guy's been flat for a bunch of days. I don't know if you see anything there. If you see anything there, I don't really see much that excites me. Short term anyway. I mean, clearly it's consolidating here, but to do what? It's going to come back up, you think, up to 52? Think that's what it's going to do? You know, or is it? I don't know. I just don't know, so I'm not going to do anything. If I have no idea, I just run away. HI, 14 cents. This is the second last one. Over the year, 8 cents to 14 cents. That's exciting. Volatility way back down to 9. Huge spike up back to 17. Sitting at 14. All over the place as far as, you know, the daily movements. And I don't know, maybe in here in the 12 cent. There's not a ton of support. Even back here, it sat at 12 cents for multiple days in February. But again, penny-ish stock, volume, low, not interested. And the final stock that we're looking at here is TAU, but immediately I'm seeing consecutive chunks of just no volume. You look at the volume here, it just didn't trade for days. The volume for the last 5 days has been almost nothing, so I'll just delete that. So there you have it. These are the ones sort of that I have interest in doing some more research. We got the RPM, we got the EDV, we got the AMI, the GRC, the PBH, and maybe even the FBX. So I will do some more research on these guys. I might get into 1 or 2 of them. I set a fair amount of alerts, which is good, so they may be popping up during the next weeks to see if we can find some other stuff. But that's it. Big long one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.